Hi, this is Chef Skip. We're going to be going over Chapter 17, Stocks, Soups, and Sauces. Stocks, sometimes called bone broth, is a savory liquid that forms the basis of many dishes. This is why we call stocks fonds or foundations. A good cook or chef needs to know how to prepare stocks, which also lead to soups and sauces. With these skills, you can go far. Stocks are an important part of any professional kitchen. When preparing stocks, flavor, clarity, and body are the most important attributes to consider. There are 4 essential parts to all stocks: a major flavoring ingredient, such as meats and bones, a liquid, most often water, mirepoix, and aromatics. Mirepoix is a French word that refers to the mixture of coarsely chopped onions, carrots, and celery that provides a flavor base for stock. The mixture is usually 50% onions, 25% each of carrots and celery. For pale or white sauces such as fish fumet, cooks usually use white mirepoix, in which they substitute parsnips, additional onions, leeks, and even chopped mushrooms for carrots. Aromatics, such as bouquet garni and sachet d'épices, are the herbs, spices, and flavorings that create a savory smell. Bouquet garni, French for bag of herbs, is a bundle of fresh herbs such as thyme, parsley stems, and a bay leaf tied together. Sachet d'épices, similar to bouquet garni, except it really is a bag of herbs and spices. The cook places the spices, including parsley stems, dried thyme, bay leaf, and cracked peppercorns, together in a cheesecloth bag. If the stock is going to be strained, these ingredients do not need to be contained in a bag. A stock is a flavorful liquid made by gently simmering bones and or vegetables. This extracts the flavor, aroma, color, body, and nutrients of the ingredients. Some stocks may take up to 24 hours to properly cook, but stocks are one of the most cost-effective ways to use vegetables, meat, and fish trimmings. Stocks are often called the cook's building blocks. They form the base for many soups and sauces. Bouillon is the liquid that results from simmering meats or vegetables, also referred to as broth. Brown stock is an amber liquid made by simmering poultry, beef, veal, or game bones that have been browned first. Court bouillon is an aromatic vegetable broth used for poaching fish and vegetables. Fumet, very similar to fish stock. This is a highly flavored stock made with fish bones and reduced to intensify flavor. A glace, sometimes referred to as a glaze, is a reduced stock with a jelly-like consistency made from brown stock, chicken stock, or fish stock. A jus, this is a rich, lightly reduced stock used as a sauce for roasted meats. Remoulage, this is a weak stock made from bones that have already been used in another preparation, sometimes used to replace water as the liquid used in a stock. Remoulage is a French word for re-wetting. Vegetable stock, this is usually made from mirepoix, leeks, and turnips, tomatoes, garlic, and seasonings, and may be added to flavor or darken the stock. Any vegetable can be included in vegetable stock, but avoid leafy greens as they tend to make the stock bitter. White stock, this is a clear, pale liquid made by simmering poultry, beef, or fish bones. Some kitchens use convenience items such as prepared stocks, stock or sauce bases, and commercial concentrates to cut the costs of food and labor in the kitchen. It is ideal to prepare all items from scratch, but it may not always be possible due to budget issues or staff skill levels. Fortunately, there are many quality convenience products available that can be used to good advantage in today's kitchen. The key to choosing any of these products is careful evaluation to make sure they provide good level of quality. The quality of the stock affects the quality of all dishes prepared from it. If the prepared stock base or concentrate is high quality and good flavor, then using it will not compromise the quality. High quality stock helps deliver a high quality product. Keep in mind, though, that commercially prepared stocks may contain a large amount of sodium or salt, depending on how they are produced. Preparing bones for stock. To use bones for stock, they must first be cut into the right size and then prepared by blanching, browning, or sweating. Blanching the bones rids them of some of the impurities that can cause cloudiness in the stock. For blanching, put the bones in a stock pot, cover them with cold water, bring them to a slow boil. When the pot is at a full boil, remove the floating waste or scum. To brown bones, roast them in a hot 400-degree oven for about an hour until they are golden brown. Once they are evenly browned, place them in a stock pot, cover them with cold water, and then bring them to a simmer. This will give the stock a richer flavor and a deeper color. Sweating causes the bones and mirepoix to release flavor more quickly when liquid is added. In the sweating process, cook the bones and/or vegetables in a small amount of fat over low heat until they soften and release moisture. For example, bones used for making fish fumet must be sweated with vegetables before adding the cooking liquid and seasoning. Place at least 8 pounds of bones in a stock pot and cover with cold water. Bring the water to a slow boil. Skim the surface if necessary. Once the water reaches a full boil, drain the bones through the sieve. If the stock pot has one, allow the water to drain away through the spigot and discard the water. Now the bones are ready for any recipe that calls for blanched bones. Flavor, color, body, and clarity determine the quality of stock. A stock should be flavorful, but not so strong that it overpowers the other ingredients in the finished dish. In a chicken noodle soup, for example, you should taste the chicken, noodles, and vegetables as well as the broth. Fish, chicken, and beef stock have the strongest flavors, while white veal stock is considered neutral. With the exception of fumet, stocks should be almost crystal clear when they are hot. Mirepoix should be trimmed and cut into a size suited for the type of stock. For stocks with short cooking times, like fish stock, the mirepoix should be sliced or diced in half-inch cuts. For stocks that are cooking times are longer than 1 hour, such as beef stock, the vegetables may be cut into larger pieces, 1 or 2 inches long, or even left whole. Bouquet garni or sachet de piece can be added to the simmering stock. Aromatics are added to allow the heat to bring out their flavors. Aromatics are usually not added until the last hour of cooking to prevent loss of flavor or development of unpleasant flavors caused by overcooking. The flavors and aromas will be released from the herbs and spices as the stock cooks. Once the stock is flavored to taste, remove the aromatics. I am a big fan of ratios in cooking. To make stock, the ratio of liquid to flavoring ingredients is standard. To make 1 gallon of stock, use the following proportions. Chicken, beef, veal, and game stock, use 8 pounds of bones to 6 quarts of water, adding 1 pound of mirepoix. Fish, shellfish stock, or fumet, 11 pounds of bones or shells to 5 quarts of water, adding 1 pound of mirepoix. Vegetable stock, 4 pounds of vegetables to 4 quarts of water, adding 3/4 of a pound of mirepoix. Combine the major flavoring ingredient and the cold liquid. Bring to a simmer. Skim as necessary throughout the cooking time. Add the mirepoix and aromatics at the appropriate time, usually in the last hour of cooking. Simmer until the stock develops flavor, body, and color. Strain, then use immediately or cool and store. Straining through cheesecloth or a coffee filter helps to remove fat. Straining from the bottom is another option. If you do not have a stock pot with a spigot and lifting the stock pot is not realistic, move the hot stock to a table and place another stock pot with a china cap with cheesecloth below it on the floor. Use a food-grade hose that reaches the bottom of the hot stock, and use bellows, a device that sucks and blows a current of air when its sides are pushed together and pulled apart, to draw into the hose. Once the hot stock is in the hose, quickly place the other end of the hose into the empty stock pot. After the stock has been stored, it must be separated from fat on the surface before it can be used. Fat removal is a process of removing fat that has cooled and hardened from the surface of the stock. Just lift or scrape away fat before reheating the stock. Fat removal gives the stock a clear, pure color. It also removes some of the fat content, making the stock more healthful. As the stock reheats, additional fat and impurities will rise to the top. Skim these off and keep the stock clear. Foodborne pathogens need time and moisture to grow. but most pathogens will not grow when the temperature of the food is colder than 41 or hotter than 135. The temperatures between 41 and 135 are in the temperature danger zone, also known as the TDZ. Follow proper food safety practices when cooling stock so that you minimize the time the stock spends in the temperature danger zone. Transfer hot stock into a clean, cool stock pot or container and put that into an ice water bath. Stir stock often. When cooled, place the container in the cooler. Alternatively, break down hot stock into smaller portions. Stir occasionally so the contents of the container cool at the same rate. Note: do not put a large stock pot of hot stock in the cooler. It will warm the cooler and its contents. Cool it the proper way. First cool stock from 135 to 70 degrees within 2 hours. Then cool it from 70 to 41 degrees or lower in the next 4 hours. Most effective way to do this is using an ice bath and stirring the stock. Fortunately, here at Francis Tuttle, we also have a blast chiller, which will bring down the temp quickly. Sauces. The word sauce comes from the French word that means a relish to make food more appetizing. All types of sauces are important in cooking. A good sauce adds flavor, moisture, richness, color, and visual appeal. Sauces should complement food, not disguise it. You can also use sauces as contrasting flavor. For example, the sweetness of roasted pork goes well with a Dijon sauce, a brown sauce with mustard. A sauce is a liquid or semi-solid product that is used in preparing other foods. A saucier is a cook who specializes in making sauces. Most sauces start with a roux as one of the main ingredients. Roux, R-O-U-X, is a thickener made of equal parts cooked flour and fat, such as clarified butter, oil, or shortening. The mother sauces. There are 5 classical mother sauces that are the basis for most other sauces. These are sometimes called grand sauces. They include the following: Bechamel. This is made from milk and a white roux. Velouté. This is made from veal, chicken, or fish stock and a white or blonde roux. Brown or Espagnole sauce. This is made from brown stock and a brown roux. Tomato sauce. This is made from a stock and tomatoes. Roux is optional. Hollandaise. This is an emulsification made of eggs, butter, and lemon. Mother sauces are rarely used by themselves. They are often used to make small sauces, also known as derivative sauces. For example, demi-glace, a rich brown sauce, is traditionally made by combining equal parts Espagnole sauce and veal stock and reducing by 50% of its starting volume. Mother sauces and their derivatives. Bechamel, made with cream instead of milk, is a cream sauce over chicken or fish. Cheddar cheese sauce, we add cheddar cheese, and this can be used in macaroni and cheese. A sauce soubise, we can add pureed cooked onions. This goes over roasted meat, games, poultry, and vegetables. Brown or Espagnole sauce. The small sauce is a bordelaise. The additional ingredients are red wine and parsley. We use this with red meat such as filet mignon. A chasseur, also called a hunter sauce, has the brown sauce or Espagnole with the addition of mushrooms, shallots, white wine, tomato concassé. This would be used to serve over wild game and meat such as venison and rabbit. Lyonnaise, we have the addition of sautéed onions, butter, white wine, and vinegar. This is great for roasts and steaks. Madeira, we'll do a reduction of Madeira wine, and this also goes well with roasts and steaks. Hollandaise sauce, one of the baby sauces, would be Béarnaise. We would add tarragon, white wine, vinegar, and shallots in a reduction. And this goes great with steaks, asparagus, or salmon. Maltaise, we would add blood orange juice and zest, and this goes great with fish and vegetables. Tomato sauce. The baby sauce would be Creole. We would add sweet peppers, onions, and chopped tomatoes. Examples of this sauce usage: shrimp, chicken, or sausages. Portuguese, we would add onions, tomatoes, garlic, and parsley, and this would go with chicken and fish. Chicken velouté. To make a mushroom sauce, we would add cream and mushrooms. This would go great with steak, potatoes, and chicken. Supreme, we would put reduced heavy cream in to give it a nice sheen. Chicken and vegetables. Hungarian. Cream, Hungarian paprika. This would go great with chicken, fish, veal, and dumplings. Fish velouté. A small sauce would be a white wine sauce. We would add white wine to the velouté. This goes great with a white, non-oily fish. A Bercy. We would add white wine, shallots, butter, and parsley. Once again, would go great with white fish. An herb sauce would be white wine and herbs. And once again, a non-oily white flesh fish. A veal velouté. The small sauce would be an allemande. This would have the addition of egg yolks, whisk in at the end, and this would go great with veal. Hungarian, we would add egg yolks, Hungarian paprika. This would go well with chicken, fish, veal, and dumplings. A curry, egg yolks and curry spices are added. This would go great with meats and vegetables. Basic ingredients in sauces. Sauces need a liquid component such as stock, milk or cream, wine, or a mother sauce. You also may add aromatics like herbs and spices to add complexity and character to a sauce. A key ingredient in sauce is the thickener, which adds richness and body. Some examples of thickeners are roux, a beurre manier, slurry, and a liaison. To make a roux, the fat is heated in a pan and then flour is added. The mixture is stirred until the flour and fat are fully blended. The color of the roux is determined by how long the mixture has been heated. A white roux is cooked for a very short period of time and is used in sauces where little color is needed, like a bechamel. White roux is bland and a little starchy and has the most thickening power, as flour loses thickening power as it gets cooked. A blonde roux, this is cooked longer than a white roux, until the flour turns golden and has a nutty aroma. It is used in ivory colored sauces like velouté. Blonde roux is a bit more flavorful and has a nutty taste to match the aroma. A brown/dark brown roux is cooked until it develops a dark brown color and is used in dishes that require a dark brown color. Brown roux is nutty and a rich medium brown color. While dark roux is quite dark with a nutty and roasted flavor, it has the least thickening ability because the starch has been cooked the longest. Making a roux. Heat clarified butter or other fat in a heavy saucepan. Add flour and stir together with the fat to form a paste. Note, most often cooks use equal parts flour and fat by weight, but some sources suggest 60% flour and 40% fat. In our class, use the 50-50 method. Stir the roux continually to prevent burning. Cook the paste over medium heat until the desired color is reached. Beurre manier is a thickener made of equal parts flour and soft whole butter. Mix flour and butter together and then shape the mixture into small sized balls and add to the cooking sauce. Use beurre manier to thicken a sauce quickly at the end of the cooking process. A slurry, which is cornstarch mixed with cold liquid, can be used instead of roux. You cannot add cornstarch directly to a sauce. It will make the sauce lumpy. First, dissolve the cornstarch in a cold liquid. This can be water or a cold stock. The consistency should look like heavy cream. Do not boil sauces thickened with cornstarch too long, or the starch will break down, creating a watery sauce. A liaison is a mixture of egg yolks and heavy cream, often used to finish some sauces, such as an allemande sauce. Liaison adds a rich flavor and smoothness to the sauce without making it too thick. It is important to temper the liaison to prevent the eggs from curdling. To temper the sauce, slowly mix a little bit of the hot sauce with the eggs and cream mixture to raise the temperature up, and then add the warmed up egg mixture into the sauce. This is also called tempering. There are various kinds of sauce besides mother sauces and small sauces. These include compound butters, cold or thick sauces like salsa and coulis, and sauces made from the natural juices of meat. A compound butter is a mixture of raw butter and various flavoring ingredients, such as herbs, nuts, citrus zest, shallots, ginger, and vegetables. Use compound butter to finish grilled or broiled meats, fish, poultry, game, pastas, and sauces, among other uses. Roll the butter into a long tube shape, then chill and slice for use as needed. One blend is Maitre d'Hotel butter, softened butter flavored with lemon juice and chopped parsley. It is often used to garnish grilled meat or fish. Other miscellaneous sauces that add flavor, texture, and color to a dish include salsa and coulis. Coulis is a thick pureed sauce. Salsa is a cold mixture of fresh herbs, spices, fruits, and/or vegetables. It can be used as a sauce for meat, poultry, fish, or shellfish. These sauces allow cooks to change a menu item by adding flavor, moisture, texture, and color to a dish. One advantage is that these sauces can provide a lower fat alternative to the usually heavy mother or small sauces. Sauces are sometimes made with natural juices of meat. A coulis is a sauce made from the juices of cooked meat and brown stock. Meats served with their own juices are called au jus. To finish a sauce, adjust the consistency. For example, it may be necessary to add stock to a sauce to thin it out. The added stock will also help flavor the sauce. Sometimes using a red or white wine can add a very distinctive taste to a sauce. A sauce that is not thick enough can be adjusted by further reduction. Once flavor and consistency have been adjusted, the sauce may need to be strained to make sure it is smooth. The easiest way to strain sauce is the wringing method. In this method, place clean cheesecloth over a bowl and pour the sauce through the cheesecloth into the bowl. The cloth is then twisted at either end to squeeze out the strained sauce. The cheesecloth catches the unwanted lumps of roux or herbs, spices, and other seasonings. Sauces may also be strained through a china cap lined with cheesecloth, a fine mesh strainer, or a chinois. As in all cooking, the final step in finishing a sauce is to adjust the seasonings. Salt, lemon juice, cayenne, and white pepper can all be used to bring out the flavor of the sauce. It is important to understand how to use sauce and how to determine what dish should be paired with a particular sauce. Obviously, there are classic pairings that have been used over time, such as Eggs Benedict and Hollandaise sauce. Several factors help to determine the right sauce for a dish. What will the style of service be? Some sauces are plated, put on a plate with the other foods. Others may be available self-serve on a buffet. How is the main ingredient of the dish being cooked? Bold sauces and garnishes work well for roasted meat. Lighter sauces are best for white meat and food cooked with light techniques such as poaching or steaming. How does the sauce's flavor work with the dish's flavor? The sauce should complement, not clash with, the flavor and texture of the dish. Please remember that a sauce is a flavor accent that should boost the flavor of a dish instead of hiding it. Are there any dietary concerns that need to be considered? For example, a roux made with wheat flour cannot be used as a thickener for a guest that has a gluten allergy. Can the sauce be prepared correctly with the available equipment and kitchen setup? It is hard to make hollandaise on the line if no space is available during service. Can the sauce be held without compromising its quality? Some sauces do not retain their quality if left in a pan for some time. Can the sauce be prepared correctly by your staff? Have they been well trained in both on the technique for making it and the proper sanitation concerns during preparation, holding, and serving? Remember that taste is the most important factor, but do not ignore the color, opacity, texture, and viscosity. Basic kinds of soups. Serving soup at the beginning of a meal provides an opportunity to make a good first impression. Preparing and serving soups helps you to learn more about your basic culinary techniques, seasoning, garnishing, and serving foods. There are two basic kinds of soup: clear soups and thick soups. Clear soups include flavored stocks, broths, and consommes. Examples include chicken noodle soup, minestrone, a tomato-based vegetable soup, and onion soup. Thick soups include cream soups, puree soups such as bisque, chowders, cream of tomato, lentil, and split pea soup. There are many variations of these soups, including the following: dessert soups such as ginatan, a Filipino soup made from coconut milk, fruits, and tapioca pearls, and served hot or cold. Fruit soups such as winter melon or gazpacho, a savory soup made with the tomato base. International soups, which can be hot or cold. Examples of cold soups are borscht, a beet soup, and vichyssoise, a French-style soup made of pureed leeks, onions, potatoes, cream, and chicken stock. Hot soups include Vietnamese pho and a rich beef stock with noodles and thinly shaved beef, or French onion soup, made with beef stock and topped with melted Gruyere cheese. Traditional regional soups such as New England clam chowder, which is a cream sauce based, Manhattan clam chowder, which is a red sauce based, or gumbo, which is a Creole soup made with okra and shrimp. Soups must be cooked properly. Most soups are cooked in a gentle simmer and stirred occasionally. If a soup is cooked for too long, the flavor can become flat and nutrients will be lost. Adding chopped fresh herbs, lemon juice, or a dash of hot pepper sauce to a soup can brighten its flavor. Finishing techniques are important when preparing soup for service. For example, the line cook should remove the surface fat on the soup before service by blotting the soup with strips of unwaxed brown butcher paper. Soup should also be garnished just before service. Clear soups. Stock or broth is the basic ingredient for clear soups. Broth is made from a combination of water, vegetables, beef, fish, chicken, or veal, mirepoix, and a bouquet garni. It should be clear to pale amber in color and have the flavor of the major ingredient. One type of clear soup is a consommé. This is a rich, flavorful broth or stock that has been clarified. A consommé is made by adding a mixture of ground meats with mirepoix, tomatoes, egg whites, and onion brulee, or bouillon, or stock. This mixture is called clear meat. Onion brulee is a burnt onion. For onion brulee, cut an onion in half across its hemisphere, and then char the flat part either on a flat top, range, or grill, or in a dry, fat-free pan. This adds color and flavor to the consommé. Care must be taken to prevent too much burning. Slowly simmer the mixture until the impurities come to the surface, trapped in a raft, which is the floating layer of egg whites, meat, and vegetable solids and fats. Remove the raft, and the result is a pure, clear, or clarified, good consommé. It should be clear, aromatic, and should emphasize the flavor of the major ingredient. If the consommé is too weak, a meat or poultry glaze can be added to enhance the flavor. There are two types of thick soup: cream soups and puree soups. Both puree and cream soups are made with liquid in either sachet de piece or a bouquet garni. Then a pureed main ingredient to provide the main flavor is blended into the base. The main difference between a puree and a cream soup is that cream soups are usually thickened with an added starch such as a roux. Pureed soups are thickened by the starch found in the pureed main ingredient, such as potatoes. Puree soups are coarser than cream soups, but should be liquid enough to pour easily from a ladle. Cream soups must be thick with a smooth texture. They should never be boiled. Boiling can cause the milk fat to break down, making the soup thin and watery. Garnish cream soups with a bit of the soup's main ingredient. For instance, place a few small blanched broccoli florets on top of cream of broccoli soup. Bisques are another type of thick soup. Bisque is a cream soup usually made from pureed shells from shellfish such as lobster, shrimp, or crab. The shells are pureed along with vegetables, making the texture slightly grainy. The bisque is then strained, garnished, and served. A properly prepared bisque should be a pale pink or red in color and have the flavor of the shellfish. Chowders are hearty, thick soups made in much the same way as cream soups. Chowders are not pureed before the cream or milk is added. They are usually thickened with roux and typically include large pieces of the main ingredients, usually potatoes or seafood, and garnishes. Preparing basic broth. Combine the meat or vegetables and water. Bring to an even simmer. Add the mirepoix and the bouquet garni. Simmer for the appropriate cooking time depending on the main ingredient in the broth. Beef, veal, game, chicken, 2 to 3 hours. Fish, 30 to 40 minutes. Vegetables, 30 minutes to an hour. Skim and strain, cool and store, or finish and garnish for service. Remember, a good broth should be clear, pale amber, with a distinct flavor of the major ingredient. Preparing a basic consommé. Combine the ground meat, mirepoix, seasonings and tomato product, onion brulee, and egg white. Blend in the stock. Bring the mixture to a slow simmer, stirring frequently until the raft is formed. Do not stir after the raft is formed. Carefully break a hole in the raft and continue to simmer. Strain using a stock pot with a spigot, that's the best option, or by tilting the pot so that the now clear soup can be ladled from the top of the raft. Cool and store or finish and garnish for service. Remember, good consommé should be crystal clear, aromatic, and emphasize the flavor of the major ingredient. Clarifying stock. Use egg whites, a mild acid such as tomato or lemon juice, and a browned onion. Whip egg whites until the whites are foamy. Add these ingredients to the stock when the stock is about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Simmer gently at medium heat for a half an hour or more. When the raft of the egg structure and the scum is gathered, be careful not to stir the raft. Remove the raft by letting it settle completely to the bottom as it cools, and then pouring off the clarified stock. Or carefully break a hole in the raft and gently ladle out the stock. Then discard the raft. Sauté the major flavoring, such as mushrooms for a cream of mushroom soup, in a little oil and butter. Add flour to make a roux, and cook for a short time to remove any starchy taste. Add stock, sachet peas, and any vegetables, and then simmer until tender. Note, stock also includes aromatics, but these are separate aromatics being added to the finished stock and other ingredients. Puree and strain the mixture. Add additional stock to adjust the consistency as necessary, and then add cream and garnish before serving. Making bisque. Sear crustacean shells in fat or sweated stock. Add mirepoix and sweat. Add tomato product. Reduce until the mixture is au sec or dry. This means reduce until it is very dry. Add stock and sachet peas or bouquet garni. Mix in the roux and simmer and skim. Discard the sachet peas or bouquet garni when you have desired flavor. Strain the soup and puree the solids. The solids that are pureed in this step include crustacean shells, which is why the soup must be strained in step 11 below. Remix the liquid to the proper consistency. Note, remix refers to combining the reserved liquid that was strained out of step 9 with the pureed solids. It may not be necessary to use all the liquid to achieve the desired consistency in the finished soup. 11. Strain, then cool and store, or finish and garnish with the cooked reserved meat from the crustacean. Remember, a properly prepared bisque should have the flavor of the crustacean and a pale pink or red color.